All right. Wretched Bastards. If you guys don't know the crew from the Red Room, you should know the crew from the Red Room. Sylvia and Miguel, they're from Portugal, are freaking amazing. They have a small channel that needs to get bigger. Check them out. I should have grabbed the link to the channel and I didn't. Oops. I'll see if I can find that right now. You guys should subscribe to them. The Red Room. And we're not going to talk a long time about this book because I actually haven't read the whole thing yet, but I just want to show the beginning of it, and if it's something you're interested in, you can get it on DriveThruRPG or Lulu, I think it is. Okay, it's a big red icon. There it is, the Red Room. Bam, the Red Room channel. And let me put it into chat. There you go. You can subscribe to them. I think everybody should. But all right, yeah. Miguel's got, I think he's got Mitt Romney hair. The dude's hair is never out of place. Just saying. I like both of them. They're both really good people, at least in my book. So let's just check out what we've got here. We're just going to page through a couple of things. I'm going to go through the first couple of pages. I'll quickly scroll through the rest, and you'll get a feel for what the book is. Wow. There we go. And so let's scroll down. Oh, by the way, for those who don't, David Guile, who you may have seen on this live stream, did some of the interior art. So look at that. Got some famous people here. Like Adobe Stock. I don't know who that is, but I know somebody's going to actually put in a chat what Adobe Stock really is. No, that's not a person, Max. All right. Yeah, this is too small to read. Even for me. Or maybe just for me. I don't know. Let's just take a first look at the first couple of pages. Anything that's got a skull on it is good in my book. Oh, open game license, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Part 1, introduction. Now remember, they're indie and from Portugal, so don't expect, like, you know, Elmore art and, you know, the most perfect layout, so forth. It's a nice generic background. It's, I think the only thing I don't like, but I know 90% of, this is just a personal thing. This is not the way it should be. This is just how I like it. I don't like left justified in columns. I like things to be justified in columns. That's just a personal issue. I didn't do anything wrong. All right, so Wretched Bastards is a low magic, dark fantasy role-playing game. Low magic, dark fantasy? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Max is intrigued. Besides being deadly and bleak, it is meant to be sleazy. Right there. It is meant to be sleazy. Remember, this is written by a man and a woman, so it will be equally sleazy across the board. The main characters aren't heroes at all. That's kind of a theme recently. Like even Forbidden Lands. Forbidden Lands would be like, you're not heroes, you're an adventurer. Oh, this goes to the next level, don't get me wrong. But yeah. It seems to be kind of a modern theme, and I'm okay with that as long as that's what the game is for. Earth Dawn, on the other hand, it pretty much says you are a hero. You must be a hero because the world is already dark enough. The world doesn't need any more assholes. So, but this one's like straight up, you're the asshole. So, they are greedy, violent, lecherous, cruel, untrustworthy scoundrels. They will lie, backstab, betray, double-cross, kill, pillage, and rape through this grim fantasy world. Yes, it has the R word. Thank you for demonetizing. They aren't heroes because there are no heroes in the kingdom of, I'm going to pronounce it as Riget. Maybe it's French. Maybe it's Riget, but I'm pronouncing it Riget. There are no heroes in the kingdom of Riget. Only a handful of Carabas continent. Only a handful in the Carabas continent, and not a whole lot more of the world of Antilia. However, they aren't villains either. Ah, nice catch. So you're not just playing an evil, dark, sadistic jerk. The malefactors here are the filthy orcs. Good, because orcs are monsters who keep coming down from the mountain. Stay up in your stupid mountain, orc. Located south from the village of Fork. Trespassing into human territory. Miguel was probably like, honey, I don't know what to... I shouldn't say honey. That's so wrong of me. But I don't know what to call him. Oh, Fork! No, kidding. The introductory scenario to this game setting, the Seven Bastards, which, by the way, just to be fair, he did send me for free. He comped me the copies. Wretched Bastards. Don't need that sticky there. The Seven Bastards, and World of Bastards. Kind of a theme, right? I think Heathen Dog noted that in the last RPG Digest. Game needs safety tools. Oh my god. No! Only safety tool it needs is you can't be harmed in a game that... unless you're live action role playing it with real swords. Oh my god, don't get me started on safety tools. and others in the World of Bastards series were partly inspired by the many ripoffs of Conan the Barbarian. Movies like Lucio Fulci's, I hope I said that right, Conquest, The Barbarians, directed by, okay, I'm not reading those names. I can't do Italian at all, or Spanish. I can do French and Russian. And the Ator series by Joe D'Amato and Alfonso Brescia, I don't know. Most of these movies were European low-budget production, so utter crap, but you know what? Get a couple of drinks in you and probably pretty good. Many directed by Italian filmmakers. So look, the best Italian movie ever is Cemetery Man. I blame Heathen Dog for making me watch that movie, but it's got Rupert Everett in it, way before he was somewhat famous. Cemetery Man. If you can make it through that movie, then you could probably watch the rest of these. Many directed by Italian filmmakers, such as all those names. You can also look at the pulp movies from the sword and scandal boom of the late 1950s as inspirational sources, and you can assume from the title The Seven Samurai and the Magnificent Seven naturally are also references. When running the game, have in mind that it's supposed to emulate. Aha! It's got a theme to it. And I like the fact that they put in here what the theme is. I don't know if this was Miguel or Sylvia that wanted this in here, or both of them, but good job. Have in mind that it's supposed to emulate a low-budget movie with over-the-top action scenes. There you go. You are now playing in that low-budget scoundrel movie. Awesome. Lousy special effects, bad acting, and much more violence than the American counterparts. All right. So, as if the 1980s action flicks weren't good enough, this is Sword and Sorcery, which if you kind of look, the 1980s Swords and Sorcery really didn't have a lot of action. That's We also took the liberty of plundering the concept of protagonists as disagreeable anti-heroes from Western spaghetti and applying it to this fantasy. It's not groundbreaking. I love these kind of comments. He's like, we're not reinventing the wheel here, folks. It's not groundbreaking. It's already been done, but nothing is original anymore. All right, just a little bit more. Meet the Bastards. In the Seven Bastards mini-campaign setting, which we recommend for that scenario, was the origin of the Wretched Bastards world. The titular Bastards are the main anti-heroes. Players are encouraged to choose a character from the cast list for simplicity's sake. Replacing any of the Seven Bastards is possible, but it will require adjustments to the background story. As the party has worked together extensively in the past, changing the whole party might work better than having some of the original characters removed. If players want to create their own characters, they should keep in mind that they are supposed to be wicked or at the very least amoral. Wicked might be, remember, you're not supposed to be, completely evil. That's the orcs. But the amoral thing, all right, you know what we're dealing with here. There is no place for romantic heroes in this setting. The pregens on our scenarios are usually veterans. However, it's not, by the way, the term veteran, we might look at that real quickly. Basically, it's how you roll the dice, how you create the character. Obviously, a veteran is different than somebody who's like, look at me, I found a sword. What am I going to do with this sword here? Pregens are series usually veterans. However, it's not going to be a walk in the park. The rivals are tough, and the orc army threatening the village of Fork and the whole Rigget kingdom may consist of as many warriors as you decide. It's unlikely for the story to have a happy ending. It's warning you up front. Some, perhaps all the player characters will die. Some will, not may. Will. I don't know if that's a word you want to use there, because if everybody lives, then you're a liar. But hey, you know what? If you want to run it in a typical old school fashion, generating characters from scratch is the most obvious choice. We still advise to make them old veterans, down on their luck and out of shape. Karaman from the beginning of the Dragonlance Legends series. I'll slurring this alcohol. I don't know who Fiston Dantabooble is. I could account for the level downgrade, but you can certainly fit inexperienced rookies in the campaign as well. All right. Selected filmography. It's got some ideas here. Look at all these things. Jeepers, creepers. Look at all these films. Side boob. All right. The Wretched system. Well, Do we want to look at that? No, I want to read this one. These are the two last parts I'm going to read. Playing Scoundrels by Miguel and Playing Innocence by Sylvia. Playing Scoundrels. So who wants to play an unfortunate, despicable scoundrel? Well, I do. When I watched Star Wars for the first time, I thought Han Solo was the main character. Okay, you're weird. Although, to be fair, when I first watched Star Wars, Han Solo was my favorite character as well. In Battlestar Galactica, I preferred Starbuck, and he's talking the dude because Starbuck is not a chick. I preferred Starbuck to Apollo, as did I. I like Dirk Benedict, but I did like Richard Hatch as well. Rest in peace. I like Westerns a lot, but favor the spaghetti ones. I don't like Westerns at all. Among the American movies of the genre, Unforgiven is certainly the one I like better. I was never fond of Thor, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. I much prefer The Punisher. And in generalities, me too. I don't really do superheroes at all, so it's not that they're all foreign to me, but I don't know a lot about them. But I tend to, prefer things like The Punisher as well. Corto Maltese is probably my favorite European comics character. The others are Tintin's Captain Haddock and Adele Blanc-Sec. I could never finish reading Lords of the Rings. It's not my thing. It's funny because I struggled through that as well, but I read it when I was younger, like 6th grade, and I found it way too wordy. But however, I enjoyed some of Ari Howard's work. Oh, here we go, back to Conan. The only fantasy stories that really struck my fancy were The Witchers, but they shy away in comparison to other kinds of adventure novels like Arturo Perez Reverte's. I don't know what the Elytrist series. I could go on, but you probably get the point. I like scoundrels. And if they are tough and mean old bastards repeatedly beat up in life, the movie Ransom, I love that movie because from beginning to end, Mel Gibson is getting his ass kicked, not because of Mel Gibson thing here, but the character is getting his ass kicked from the beginning to the end. A lot of my friends hated Ransom, like, there's no hero's journey here. You know what? I loved it. Repeatedly beaten by life, but never ready to give up, the better. It's an unpopular concept. That is true. That is true. But any scenario or game setting that I can think of will be centered on disreputable characters facing seemingly impossible odds. If you are willing to give it a try, go on reading. These mechanics might be of interest to you. It's basically an old school mechanics type system. So if you're versed in Dungeons and Dragons of pretty much any of the older editions, basically including 3rd edition, you'll get the system. I have not read through it completely, but if you know basic D&D or 3rd edition D&D, you'll understand what's going on here. All right, now playing Innocence by Sylvia. The scoundrel has always been my default character trope, but I did play my share of virtuous paladins when random character creation made it so. Can you play heroic characters in a Wretched game? Sure. It's your game now, you can do what you want. My recommendation for playing the typical hero in Wretched is to make it a young, inexperienced character, an innocent that may become a bastard after being kicked around in life. You get kicked in the ding-ding a couple of times. Yeah, you get grumpy at the world, right? The world of Antilia is a wretched place, and the heroes will be surrounded by deceitful deviants that will try at every turn to hurt, betray, or take advantage of him. The corruption of an innocent story arc sounds interesting to me, but then I'm a weird deviant myself. She doesn't show that, like not in the times I've talked to her. But the World of Bastard scenarios have some NPCs that fall into this category. They're mostly here to feed the orcs. Red shirts, you got some Star Trek red shirts, and make fun of some, I love this, and make fun of some current day role-playing tropes, but then can be used as player characters. There you go. All right. That's the general thing. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I haven't read through it. I can't really answer any real questions about it. But I just wanted to get you guys, if this sounds interesting to you, you can get it off a drive-through RPG. I don't know where else you can get it. I probably should know. I don't. Like I said, the copies were comped to me. So you can check that out. I just saw somebody say Boba Fett was lame, so now I need to know what the hell is going on in chat.